Hello there guys! For today's video, I'm going to show you how to make glow effect on leaf in Photoshop. And also, we will dive deeper into making selection with the use of quick selection tool, applying exposure, duplicating of layers, applying hue and saturation, and changing of blending mode. So let's get started. So here in our document, I prepared here an image of a leaf, and our goal here is to make it glow. So the first step we're going to do here is we're going to create a selection around the leaf. So to do that, going on to the layers panel, select on the background layer, and then go to the toolbar, go to the fourth tool, right click on it, and then find the quick selection tool. On the options panel, make sure that the add to selection is active. And then we can now start creating a selection around the leaf. There you go. And now we're going to create a layer of this leaf with this selection, and with the background layer active, press Ctrl plus J. And there you go. And then the next step here is that we're going to darken the background for us to see the glow effect later on. Okay, so to do that, select on the background layer, go to the adjustment layer icon down here, just click this icon, and then choose on exposure. So under the properties of exposure, go here. This is for the exposure. We're going to decrease this one. Click and drag this one to the amount of the dark effect that you want. So in my case, I'm going to set this one into -4. And by the way, if you find this video helpful so far, please consider subscribing to help YouTube algorithm show my videos to other nerds like us. Now the next step we're going to do here is that we're going to create a selection on the midrib or the veins of the leaf, because I want to apply the glow effect on that area as well. Okay, so to do that, from that layer, okay, so this leaf, let's name this one as leaf layer, right? So from this leaf layer, press Control, hold it, and then click on the thumbnail to bring back the selection around the leaf. There you are. And then with this selection, go to the menu bar, go to select, and then choose on color range. So this dialog box will appear, right? So to create a selection on the midrib or the veins, from the select, I'm going to click this one and then choose on highlights, because the midrib or the veins are light color. And then from the fuzziness and the range, we are going to mix and blend to create a selection on those highlights area. I'm going to drag the fuzziness to a higher amount. Okay, on this part, white means will be the one that will be selected, and the black aren't. And we also adjust the range. So in my case, this one is a perfect selection on the midrib and on the veins. There you are. So I set this one to 112 and the fuzziness to 85. Once all set, hit OK. So once I did that, it creates a selection around those midrib and veins. Amazing. Now let's create a layer of its own, and make sure that the leaf layer is active. And with this selection, press Ctrl plus J, and there you have it. Now let's name this layer as midrib layer. All right, there you go. Now the next step here is we're going to select on the leaf layer and then change its blending mode. So click this one to change the blending mode, and then select on screen. Now to add more glow to it, I'm going to press Ctrl plus J. There you go. And then this time, from this leaf copy layer, go to the menu bar, go to filter, go to blur, and choose on Gaussian blur. All right, so from the radius, I'm going to set the amount to 20 pixels. Then hit OK. Another thing here is that we're going to create another copy of this leaf layer. So press Ctrl plus J to do that. Same thing that we did with that layer selected. Go to the menu bar, go to filter, choose on blur, and choose Gaussian blur. So from the radius, I'm going to increase this one, creating a glow effect around the leaf into something like 78.4 pixels. I'm good with this, and then hit OK. Now the next step here is let's go to the midrib. Okay, so now we're going to apply the glow effect on those midrib area. So with that layer selected, let's change the blending mode. Click this one and then choose on linear dodge. Once I did that, it created a really cool effect on it. See? Okay. So we're going to create another duplicate layer of that midrib. Press Ctrl plus J. Then from that midrib copy, go to the menu bar. Again, go to filter, choose blur, go to Gaussian blur, and then set the radius into a higher amount, like around 42%. Then hit OK. So to add more glow, we're going to do the same thing. From that midrib copy, let's create another duplicate of that. Press Ctrl plus J. With that new layer selected, go to the menu bar, go to filter, go to blur, go to Gaussian blur. For the radius, let's set this one into a higher amount, like around 100. There you go. Now hit OK. All right. Now, next step here is that we are going to put all of this duplicated layer with the leaf and the midrib layer into one folder. So to do that, I'm going to click on this top layer, press Shift, hold it, and select on the leaf layer until all those layers are active. Now, to put them into one folder, I'm going to press Ctrl plus G to put them into a group. There you are. Now let's name this group as the glow layer. All right, the next step here is that we're going to create a brighter effect on the finger on this part, okay? So to do that, I'm going to click on the background layer, go to the layers panel, and get the quick selection tool, or you can just press W for the shortcut key. Once it's active, I may now create a selection around this hand. There you go. With this selection and with the background layer active, press Ctrl plus J. Let's name this layer as hand. There you are. From this hand layer selected, I'm going to click and drop it on top of the exposure 1 layer, creating an effect like this. So as you have noticed here that the hands are bright. In this case, we are going to darken on this part and then brighten up on those fingernails area. So to do that, from this hand layer, I'm going to add a mask. So go here, select on this. This is the add a mask icon. Click that. Select on the thumbnail. Press B to get the brush tool. Set the foreground color into black. From the options panel, set the opacity into 20. And then we may now start darkening the areas that you think that it isn't affected by the glow effect. All right, there you go. Now that's looking natural. Another optional thing here, if you want to change the color of the glowing effect, let's do it this way. So select on that glow folder layer, then go to the adjustment layer icon, then choose on hue and saturation. So from this hue and saturation, I'm going to right click on it and then choose on create clipping mask, for the effect will be only applied to the glow layer. And then from the properties of hue and saturation, I'm going to click on colorize for us to choose the specific color that we want, right? And then let's say I want to put the color to purple, something like that. If you want to give more saturation to it, let's just adjust the saturation slider, putting into a higher amount, creating an effect like this. There you go. Now purple is good for me. Now the next step here is that to make it more natural, of course we have to add some purple light on the finger. Alright? So to do that, from that hand layer, I'm going to press Ctrl and click on the thumbnail of that to bring back the selection on the hand. There you go. And then I'm going to select on the create new layer. All right, so this one, click this one. All right, from that, I'm going to click and drop it under the glow group layer. There you go. All right, so and also, so with this selection, I'm going to hold Alt and then get a sample color on the leaf. All right, so I just get a purple color. Then for the options panel, make sure the opacity is set to a lower amount. 20% is fine. And then we may now start adding some color on the hand. So I know that you will think that this one doesn't look natural. So from that layer that we just add, we're going to change its blend mode to color. And there you go. Now that blends well. Press Ctrl plus D to deselect, and there you have it. Now let me show you the before and after. So this one is the before, and this one is the after. And that is how to create a glow effect on leaf in Photoshop.